Welcome back. It is time for The Weather Could Be Verse. Those of you from out of town are like, what is this guy doing poetry for? Well, I've been doing it for about 30 years. And, you know, we're going to test George Mallet's knowledge of 1970s music here. So here we go. We are reliving the songs of the 70s, but not in the way we desire. In a leaf-burning twist, your eyes have the mist from the smoke of a distant fire. Yeah, there you go. If you're driving around yesterday, I mean, the smoke was thick. It depends which county you're in. I know that. But, boy, there was low-hanging smoke in a lot of places as everybody tries to burn those leaves. Remember, leaves don't burn that well. It creates a lot of smoke, and for people who have breathing difficulties, it can cause problems. It's always a lot better to compost those leaves. It's better for your lawn and garden, and you don't put all that stuff out into the atmosphere. Just saying, I know that some people have that tradition. They like to burn their leaves. I get it, but just kind of put a good word out there for the people who have some struggles with that. South Bend right now, as we look from our transmitter site, you can see the sky. In fact, I think you can see some of that smoke hanging in the trees out there as we look towards South Bend. 41 degrees right now, east-southeast wind at 8 miles an hour. Those will be increasing a bit, 10 to 15 later on this evening, with an occasional gust up around 20 miles an hour. So do be prepared for a little bit of a wind chill effect as you go to Notre Dame Stadium. If you're going to be there to watch Notre Dame and Florida State later on tonight at 7:30, you can see the Jumbotron just being lit up out there, but it will be chilly. It'll be down around 50 degrees, probably dropping into the high to mid 40s by the end of that game. Right now, 41 here in South Bend, and some areas have dropped into the 30s this morning. Up in St. Joe, Michigan, it's a beautiful day on Lake Michigan. You can see that lovely horizon. A few high, thin clouds out there. We'll see those on radar here in just a second, but it's 42 degrees up along the lakeshore in St. Joe. There you can see what I'm talking about, these high, thin clouds out there, and it's just ahead of a much bigger system that's out to our west. You can see how those clouds have gathered in this giant classic comma shape of this next storm system coming in. The center of low pressure is still out here in Kansas and is going to track up into Minnesota, but this cold front will be coming through our area. The good news is this is very slow moving, and so it probably won't get here until perhaps late in the game tonight. Most of it would be after midnight tonight into tomorrow. So for tailgate weather out there, I think things are looking great, actually. It is not hard to keep the beer cold today, as we started out in the high 30s early this morning, jumping up to the mid 50s by noon, 58 by 4 o'clock this afternoon, but again, they don't tee it up until 7:30 tonight. So by game time at 7:30, it'll be about 52 degrees. It'll feel cooler than that because you can see those southeast winds at 10 to 15 with an occasional gust up around 20. 50 degrees by halftime, and by late in the game, in the fourth quarter, we could see a few sprinkles moving into the area, much more likely after the game, but I would go prepared to be able to shed some of the rain out there if we happen to get some sprinkles. Also a big game, Michigan and Indiana down at Bloomington. This would be huge for the undefeated Hoosiers, who are in the top 10. We're looking at temperatures about 60 degrees, cloudy skies down in Bloomington. Also want to show you Tropical Storm Rafael, which is in the center of the Gulf of Mexico down here. You can see some of these radar satellite images, some of this rain being thrown up into the New Orleans area. Here's Tallahassee over here in the panhandle of Texas, so they're definitely catching some clouds out of Tropical Storm Rafael. But you can see the projection right now because there's really no steering current to bring that up into the United States. It does look like it'll wobble around in the Gulf for a couple of days and then perhaps track a little bit south down toward the Yucatan. So it does not currently pose a big threat for the United States. Taking a look at future track, again, those high, thin clouds out there will be increasing. We'll see growing clouds by 4 o'clock this afternoon. Mostly cloudy skies as we get toward game time. 7, 8, 9 o'clock during the game, mostly cloudy skies. The rain still out to our west, and then maybe a few sprinkles perhaps before the end of the game, but much more likely after midnight and into the early morning hours tomorrow. The biggest swath of rain comes through and actually stays a little bit east of the South Bend area as we go through the morning and daytime hours tomorrow. So here's your 10-day forecast. The normal high should be 51, and we are still well above that with a high of 60 today and 64 tomorrow. Much closer to normal as we get into next Monday and Tuesday, but it looks like a couple of nice days there right around Veterans Day on Monday. And do not forget to thank all of the men and women who have served so bravely and brilliantly over the years to